you in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
The other dude's holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Jerry's gonna get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you know what? Let me do this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Fantasy Sports and Politics. It's me, Mr. FSP. And I want to thank all of you guys that have started following the show on X. Got quite a few upticks in followers. Very thankful for that. You can also follow the show on YouTube under Victor Gardner, and we'll have some fun. But the reason why the show is the show and it goes the way it goes is because of my co-host. And I got to bring them in and thank them. Not that one. Actually, both of them. I'm gonna thank both of them.
He likes. I like it. You know, you must think like abusing me. That's all. That's all. Hey, I got 14 years worth of fucking abuse.
Why are you cursing? Why are you cursing?
Jerry,
Yes.
he's just trying to make up with me because him and Sammy are BFFs now.
Oh my God. We're not gonna start that.
Yes, we are. That's why he tried to sugarcoat it.
What we're gonna do is
we're
gonna say this show is brought to you by
624coffeecompany.com. For more info, visit the site. Verify status. Stop drinking dirty water. You deserve great coffee. Hey, hero, don't be a zero. 15% off a military discount. Great coffee for great people. That's 624coffeecompany.com.
Excellent. My co-host, JT ATM Money, and Q. I will put his real government name out there, but I ain't gonna do that.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it won't fit on the screen.
Now they're gonna try to deport your ass. That's why. But no. I want to thank all the folks that are watching us on the different platforms. And I know some of these people are probably bots because there's a lot of adult followers. I'll just put it that way. But thank y'all for following the show and getting into the show. Greatly appreciate it. Maybe one day we'll get money. Not yet. But if you want to, you can donate. There's a line down there, and greatly appreciate it. But there's a lot of movement going on in the NFL. Coach-wise, the last coaching vacancy has been filled. I'm not thrilled about it. I'm quite sure Jerry wants to come at me about it because in our group chat, he put a lot of bang, 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 like he's going to take shots. So I'm waiting for that. Seattle gets the coach, the young gun coach from Baltimore. Baltimore's team is actually getting a little dismantled. Now their defensive coordinator, not defensive coordinator, the associate head coach and defensive line coach has rumored to have been offered the defensive coordinator position in Miami. I think I like that. The one rumor I don't like is Chip Kelly coming to Washington. I don't like that. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about all the different things that have been going on in the NFL. It's February, so happy Black History Month. I'm quite sure JT will have a Black History fact of some sort that he lived through during the Civil Rights Movement, which is cool because, hey, he lived it. And, he knows how it is to drink out of a black-only water fountain. So, I'm not making fun of it. I'm being serious. But with that being the case, we're getting ready for March Madness. We're getting ready for baseball. But most importantly, we're getting ready for the Super Bowl. As Q alluded to, yeah, you can keep rubbing that Los Angeles Dodgers crap.
Everybody gonna hate us this year. It's all good. They hate us because they ain't us.
Oh my God. But the most important event we're going to talk about is when it's happening next Sunday, the Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs taking on the San Francisco 49ers. A rematch of Super Bowl 50, I believe it was. The 100-year anniversary of the NFL. A lot of good stuff, bad stuff happening in that game. We're going to talk about that. But I'm going to open up the floor real quick for my co-host before we jump into it. JT, then Q.
I don't know what to say, man. I'm not. I just put that out there in the chat with bullets or whatever, because the hiring. New ownership, same BS. New ownership, same BS. You hire a defensive coordinator of your division rival that got torched. Absolutely torched in the playoffs. I was at a loss for words. All I was doing was shaking my head, and I was, I don't feel sorry for too many people. Let me put it that way. It is what it is. I always say it is what it is, but I felt sorry for Mr. FSP because he's going to have to suffer, in my opinion, through another dismal Washington Commanders season with Dan Quinn as the head coach. God knows who the offensive coordinator or the defensive coordinator is going to be. I don't know if he's going to be actually calling the defense or setting up the defense and not having a defensive coordinator. But I just had to put prayers out for Mr. FSP when I put that on the chat. I put prayers out on him. A prayer. I'm praying for you, brother.
Thank you.
I'm praying for you. Okay.
I will talk about that.
And let me finish. And I'm also praying for my Cleveland Browns, because they just got the offensive coordinator from the Buffalo Bills who got fired.
Oh, that's a good hire.
Ken Dorsey?
I like Ken Dorsey.
Oh, hell no.
Wow.
I like Ken Dorsey.
He didn't do nothing.
Let me put it this way. It was a run-oriented team. That just changed with the offensive coordinator. They're not going to run as often as they do because he's a passing guy. He's a passing offensive coordinator. And I think Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, wants to go in that direction as passing football.
Yep.
So, in my opinion, that's not a good thing, because when you pass the football for the majority of the time, that's going to put your defense in harm's way, because you pass, and if you don't consistently make first downs, you're going to shorten the game for the offense on your team and lengthen the offense for the opposition and also for our defense. So,
okay.
I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy.
I got you. We're going to double back to that because we're going to discuss it. But Q, your turn. Go ahead.
I just want to say, Jerry, how you doing, brother? Good to see you.
Same here, Q. Same here. Cliff Kingsbury, Q.
Yeah. Things are looking up in Raider Nation, baby.
All we need about Cliff Kingsbury, but not Ken Dorsey. Never mind. Go ahead.
All we need to do now is just get a quarterback, and I think we'll be all right. And I just want to say what's up to everybody. And I want to tell my boy Chris Eder right there that it's free to dream, brother. Keep dreaming. No charge at all.
Well, when we talk baseball, when we switch to baseball in a couple of weeks, Chris is going to come on. He said he would, and he says he follows the Cubs. That's all he knows. So, but he knows a little bit about baseball. Well, not a little bit. He knows enough about baseball to talk baseball. So he's going to be joining the show. Unless
Like, if he follows the Cubs, then there's not much to talk about because he doesn't know about winning. So, I mean, you could bring him on.
Okay. All right. With that being the case, we're going to address the two things that came up first, and then we'll double back to anything else before we talk about the Super Bowl. First issue was prayers for me and the Washington Commanders. We thank you. We thank you because I truly believe that Ben Johnson and Slowick were the top two options for Washington. And when both decided, no, we're not going to leave our current situations, that told me two things. One, when Johnson did it, Washington was in flight to go see him. Seattle had already did the interview. And he pulls out. Not a good look on him. But it also said, and this was his reasoning, he built something with Detroit and he wants to go to the Super Bowl with Detroit. He has resurrected Jared Goff's career. Nobody's talking about old boy from Tennessee, University of Tennessee, who should be getting ready to take over because his injury has healed. They're talking about giving Goff an extension.
Yep.
Because of Johnson's play calling. Amon-Ra St. Brown came out and said he's very happy that he didn't leave because that's his favorite coach.
Yep.
It also said to me, people still have a thing for Washington.
Yep.
Where it's not a desirable place to coach.
Exactly.
Now, here's what I'm going to say. The general manager position was a great position. Do you know why it was a great position? You're $70 million under the cap. You have the number 2 overall pick, and you can start shaping this organization. That also means you don't have a lot of players under contract outside of like your core 3 or core 4. Core 4, my opinion, are Allen and Payne, McLaurin, and Dotson. Everybody else is coming up on a contract year where they're leaving or so after this, or you're not going to resign them. Sam Howell is the only quarterback left on the team that's under contract. But that's because he has a third rounder or fifth rounders contract, which means after this year, he's a free agent.
Oh, where's that? Oh, I just saw
So
it.
they're going to probably draft a quarterback. Oh gosh, my mother's calling me right now. But the point of the matter is, to me, you get Dan Quinn, who is not a bad coach. He didn't have the best of records when he was in Atlanta, but he did take Atlanta with Matt Ryan to the Super Bowl. Now, our boy Shanahan kind of tricked off the Super Bowl win at the end by letting New England come back and do their thing.
I got some breaking news, man.
Okay, give me a second.
Ta-da-da.
All right, what's your breaking news? What's your breaking news?
Q, you're not going to like this. You are not going to like this.
Okay. Bring it to me gently, bro.
A twist in the Cliff Kingsbury issue. He has withdrawn himself from consideration for the offensive coordinator job of the Raiders. So that's up in the air right now. Who's going to be OC for the Raiders? Because Cliff Kingsbury has backed up.
Now I'm gonna tell you something. With that being the case, I understand why he did, and I don't blame him.
Oh,
You know why? Not the Raiders. The Cardinals are still paying him. They are still paying. And if he does not have to work to get it, all he has to do is interview for jobs, which he has been doing. He still gets paid. No, they will not hire Bill Belichick as their offensive coordinator. That would be ass backwards.
That I would quit being a Raider fan if that something like that ever happened. But anyways, I mean,
really?
yes,
Belichick is not an offensive-minded person. Why would you want
yeah, for real.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't know. I have to look it up. But anyways, I had heard myself that that one of their other choices that the Raiders were trying to interview was Chip Kelly for offensive coordinator.
I hate him, but I'd rather him go there than to Washington because he's been rumored for Washington.
I mean, he's a great offensive mind. I don't know about a good coach, but a good offensive mind. So I don't know. We'll see.
Good offensive mind.
I-
He brought in the RPO action to the NFL. However, he's done nothing since.
Nope.
Everywhere he's gone, when he went to San Francisco, nothing really. Lost that job. Gone to UCLA. Hasn't done jack in UCLA. Now UCLA is going to the Big Ten, where all they do is play defense and run the ball. Chip Kelly might have interest in the NFL because he knows in 2 years he's probably going to be fired from UCLA because UCLA will not be the powerhouse that it once was, especially going to the Big Ten. But
I mean,
go ahead.
I've been a UCLA fan all my life, and they've never been a powerhouse in football.
Okay. Well, relevant.
I'm just speaking facts, bro. You said the powerhouse that they were. They've never been a powerhouse.
Okay, they were relevant.
Relevant, yeah.
But I will say this. This goes back to Washington, and then we'll go to Cleveland. Chip Kelly's name has been brought up as the offensive coordinator. I don't want that. I honestly, and Chris brought something up, I'd rather have Josh McDaniel. I really would. I wouldn't want all those daggone Patriots coming to the organization, but we're going to run the ball. We're going to throw decent passes, and we'll play defense. Now, I would really love for Eric Bieniemy to stay, but now that Kingsbury has pulled his name out of the hat, the Raiders and EB, I think it's a great combination. A great combination. If they were going to get that style of offense anyway with Kingsbury, I'd go get EB. And the word is they're going to get Daniels from LSU. They're going to try to get him. Why not? Just my thoughts. JT.
Yes, sir.
You're not happy with Ken Dorsey.
Oh, no.
Well, I know, and I'm going to say this, my brother. It's not even going to be on Ken Dorsey. You know what's going to be on? Your boy, Deshaun Watson. This is, I can tell you right now, this is to prove or show that either A, Watson can throw the ball and be a better passer than he has been, or B, show that he isn't, and they're in the what? Third or fourth year, the fourth year of that 6-year deal. It's time to move on. When you got DRT sitting there just waiting in the wings, I think Ken Dorsey is a good hire. He's I would say, he's demanding, but he's also someone that understands the platform and the way that these guys need to play. Now, going to the AFC North, where he's gonna have to run the ball, that leads me to think, okay, Nick Chubb, he's gonna come back off his injury, right? Is this a good move for Nick Chubb? Maybe, because he won't be running as hard. But then you got Dearness Johnson, who showed he can carry the load this year.
Dearness
right?
Johnson is no longer on the Browns. He is on the Jaguars.
I'm sorry, who's the young cat that they had this year?
Jerome Ford.
Yeah, Jerome Ford, thank you, showed that he can carry the load, and he's younger, and he catches the ball well. So maybe this might be a really good thing for your Cleveland Browns. I really think it is. Since you already said you're displeased with it, let's get Q's thoughts on it.
Well, I think the reason Ken Dorsey's coming in because I think this year they're gonna have to find out if Deshaun has anything left, and he's not running as much anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, so he's just been passing, and I think honestly, this is a do or die year for him coming up. I think that they'll eat up that contract if he doesn't do anything this year coming up, because that's 3 years of playing poorly, and they have a good squad good squad all around. So I think that's the main reason. But I'm not a big fan of Ken Dorsey, anyways.
No,
I think he didn't draw up any like great plays and stuff. It was, I guess, because of Josh Allen. It was just a basic, just throw the ball deep and run it. Throw the ball deep and run it. So we'll see if he comes up with something clever. But I don't know.
Okay.
To me, he didn't seem like he was too didn't have an imagination in the he wanted to go with something safe that he was comfortable with.
Exactly.
Versus having some type of imagination and being able to get the most out of the talent that he had. Now you see what happened when they changed offensive coordinators in Buffalo, how more relevant running back was. That was key. That once they opened up, once they decided to run the ball more and limit the turnovers of Josh Allen, that offense was a lot better. Was better. They were more balanced. Let me put it that way. They're more balanced versus always using the quarterback and trying to pass the ball over and over and over again, and then an afterthought running the football. You can't do that. You have a team that the strong suit is running the football. I'm talking about the Cleveland Browns. You got to use your assets to the max. I mean, you may have a high salary quarterback, but a lot of teams have high salary quarterbacks, and a lot of teams are running the football effectively and making that high salary quarterback make plays when it's more advantageous for the offense. So I don't like him because he's too pass happy. Let me put it that way. He's too pass happy. Look at this successful coaches. Okay. Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes are pass happy. That's an exception. You got Pat Mahomes and everybody else below that. Everybody, and it's not even close to me. It's not even close.
So I'll say this, Jerry. I'll say this. Because I watched a lot of Buffalo Bills games. As you know, I'm part of that that group, the Bills Mafia stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And the biggest difference, you nailed it, about running the ball. But what Ken Dorsey was doing, and I'm not saying that, McDermott told him to do this at the beginning of the year. He was stopping Josh Allen from running the ball. If you noticed, Josh Allen started running the ball more after Ken Dorsey left. design runs, and he scrambled a lot. And he ran the ball on broken plays. Under Ken Dorsey, he was kind of restricting him to the pocket to make reads. That was along with running Cook and what's my man name? Latavius Murray.
Yeah, but
those were the biggest differences in what happened. And I agree with you. The run game had a big uptick. And Ken Dorsey does throw the ball a lot. But he was trying to restrict the injury-prone Josh Allen, who still led the league in turnovers. Right? Fumbles and interceptions combined, he led the league in turnovers.
Well, in the run game, you got to be committed to the run game. You just can't have that. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to run the ball as an afterthought. You got to be committed to the run game. Okay. A lot of teams, a lot of defenses get sucked in by play action. And how is play action effective? Running the football. Running the football. And that was a problem. And you can see how much better the offense was once Ken Dorsey left, and they were running the football and gave Josh Allen more opportunities to make plays. So I'm just saying, I got to see what's going to happen. But I think from what I understand that the Cleveland Browns are going to be more pass happy. All right. I think before they hired Ken Dorsey, I think Kevin Stefanski in one of his press conferences had made note of that he was going to, they were going to
throw the ball more,
pass them more. They're going to pass. They were going to be into more of the passing game more, which is, in my opinion, it's not a good formula, especially in Cleveland. You got this time of year,
yeah,
December, November, where it starts to get cold, and you got frigid weather coming off that lake in Cleveland. You got to be able to run the football.
Well, okay, I got what you're saying, and because I got a question for Q in a second, but I would say look at what Flacco did in those same conditions, throwing the ball 30, 40 times with a run game, but it wasn't the focus. The pass game was the focus. Now, Flacco messed up a lot.
You got stars in your eyes when you see that.
But my point is, when you see that happening, and this is my thought process as a coach.
Yep.
That's what, Stefanski saw. He said, yeah, we can do this. I'm doing it with a guy that just came off the couch. There's no reason why Deshaun shouldn't be able to do this. There's no reason why any quarterback we put in there can do it, because when we had DTR in there for that one game, he wasn't accurate, but he was effective and things of that nature. So yeah. I can see it. I really can. I don't I say let it play out. But that's what I'm going to go to Q on. Q, with the news of Kingsbury pulling his name out the hat for your Raiders, who do you want to be the offensive coordinator? Because I'll put it this way. If Kingsbury, and I said I know he did it because he's still getting paid regardless, but maybe Seattle, Washington might be the place he wants to go and use those tools more so than what he has with with the Raiders. But who do you want to be the offensive coordinator since it's not going to be Kingsbury?
Well, I haven't heard of many other names that are people who are available, right? Who?
EB.
Yeah, I say EB would be a good fit there too, but
EB. I
mean, have they said he's available? That's what he wants to do?
Well, he's available. Washington did not. He was on a 1-year deal or 2-year deal, but the second year could be voided or whatever. He's not being retained by the team.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind EB coming over. I just know that we need an experienced offensive coordinator, not a youngster. I think we really need an experienced one, but we need one that is very creative and stuff and everything. So I think Eric Bieniemy fits that mold real quick. I think the worst thing we can do is get a brand new offensive coordinator who's never done it before, because we're 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 teetering with like being good or staying the same as we've been all these years. So I think we have a good team. We just really need a quarterback and a great offensive mind.
So I get that. Now, when you say you don't want a fresh face, so to speak, or a young offensive coordinator, what are you looking for then? You want a guy that's done it for like 5-10 years and just never got a head coaching job, or was a former head coach? Because where did Arthur Smith end up going? Where's Arthur Smith at right now?
Arthur Smith is with the Steelers, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly. And you know that's going to be Steeler ball. He's been an offensive coordinator, but you also know that's going to be the boringest football ever. Kenny Pickett. Arthur Smith is perfect for Kenny Pickett. He won't make the mistakes, and he doesn't need to throw the ball a lot. Who do you want, Q? You say you want somebody that's going to bring up new ideas, fresh ideas. That's not Chip Kelly. Oh, Chris just brought us something that I was thinking about. I was going to say it, but how about this guy? Byron Leftwich, who, by the way, hasn't had a sniff at offensive coordinator or head coach since he was let go of Tampa Bay. He even offered to come in and help assist in Pittsburgh last year, but they're like, nah, it's okay.
Byron Leftwich is good. when he was doing Tampa Bay, they had a good offense. Yeah, they had a good offensive scheme and everything. I mean, that sounds like a good. Like I said, I can't think of any name specifically, right? But I do know that we need somebody who's done it at least 5 to 10 years. But it's not just a one-way kind of guy. Somebody with a creative mind. I think that's what we're looking for most. I think that's what we need the most.
Okay, with that being said, because I know this is Jerry's favorite topic, which running back do you want to keep? Or do you want to start? Because I'm going to tell you, if you try to retain Jacobs, that's a different type of offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
If you go with Zamir White, you can open it up and be more creative like you're talking about.
I think.
So which back do you want?
I'm good going with like Samir White and a bunch of other backs, because I just don't see the long-term running back just sticking, in the NFL. It's not going to happen anymore. So you need running backs that can catch the ball. You need running backs that can block and stuff and everything, not just, yeah. So I'd rather stay with Samir White. I think Josh Jacobs, he's good, but I think he's past his prime already. He's been running a lot the last few years. So I think he's already past his prime. So I'm good with Samir White.
Well, he's one of the younger backs, believe it or not.
Yeah.
He's one of the younger backs in the league. I think I still think he's got a lot in the tank, but
the last 3 years they ran him all the time.
Under McDaniels, okay. they ran a lot of tread off him. Okay. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
But if you talk about multiple backs, there's a free agent that I'm thinking that would be ideal. He was with a back that was the primary back, and he was the so to speak, in quotation marks, change of pace back, and I think that's his best role. And that's the free agent coming out of Dallas. That's Tony Pollard.
Speaking of free agents, I'm glad you said that, JT. Austin Eckler's name has come up because the Chargers are, and one of Harbaugh's first moves is to go after Saquon Barkley.
I can believe that. I can. Yeah. That I mean, in my opinion, Saquon Barkley would fit ideal
Yeah. Yep.
in the type of offense that Harbaugh wants to run, because he likes to run the football and he likes to use the backs too in the passing game.
Yep.
I totally agree with that. I think Pollard should go to the Raiders if he's a free agent, and the Raiders should go after him because he did his best work as a change of pace, as 1B.
That's a number 2. Yeah.
Okay. But we know Zamir White isn't a power back though. So who's going to be their short yardage back? I'll say this: Derrick Henry lives in Dallas, trains in Dallas, does all these things, and Spears on ESPN said, "Go to Dallas."
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm just saying.
No, I got it. I'm just throwing names out there.
You got these free agents. You got DeAndre Swift. You got Tony Pollard. You got Derrick Henry. You got Saquon Barkley.
You said something.
And Josh Jacobs.
Time
out. JT, you just said something that I wanted to get to a little bit later, but you said something that just made me think so hard to bring it up now. DeAndre Swift probably will not stay in Philly. You want to know why? Who's offensive coordinator in Philly now?
Oh, who's the offensive coordinator in Philly?
Who's offensive coordinator in Philly, boys?
The guy from what's his name?
Come on.
Who is he? Who is he?
I'll put it this way.
Why don't you say
he does not like to run the ball. He don't like running the ball.
Who?
Pull it up. You got all the coaches right there. You were just looking up all the coaches.
Just say it.
No, I'll make you work. I'm gonna make you work.
Ain't nobody working. I ain't worried.
I ain't even moving my finger. You see this? I'm just chilling.
I know you are, but JT's on the computer. JT's on the computer. He up here like this. He ain't even looking at the camera. He like this. So I'm like, you might as well look it up. Point being,
oh God,
it's going to be a system where they're going to throw the ball with Jalen Hurts.
Okay, who's the coordinator?
Go ahead, tell him, JT. Since I know you just pulled it up.
Know.
As
Kellen Moore.
Thank you.
Okay, Kellen Moore.
Thank you. He signed, I believe it was Tuesday.
I don't think too highly of Kellen Moore myself.
I know, but that's my point about saying DeAndre Swift is not gonna be in Philly that long. He's not going back, because we all saw and we all talked about this when he was in Dallas. He don't appreciate the running back, but Jalen Hurts gonna throw that ball like a mofo.
Man, Jerry, you just made me like have dreams of Derrick Henry signing with the Raiders and Zamir White being the number 2 guy, change of pace guy.
Said it. How is Jerry giving you the woo?
Jerry said it. Jerry said Derrick Henry.
Whatever. I guess your BFF, you'll give your BFF everything.
Hey. As the older guy, I have the more creative mind here.
You got a beautiful mind. Yeah.
I have a creative mind here. That's okay. That's all right.
But this is what I mean when I started the show saying that there's a lot of movement with the coaches and stuff, because we already know who all the coaches are. I did not realize this until it came up on NFL Network that Carolina's coach is considered a minority.
Is he?
Yes.
Yeah. Canales?
Yeah, Canales.
Yeah.
What is he?
I just thought he was Italian.
I think he's Hispanic. I'm not exactly sure what the ethnic he is, but I think
it's probably like Cuban or something. That's like a Cuban last name.
He could be.
Well, I didn't realize it until then. But he made some comments that really has me thinking Carolina's going to be a team to watch out for. Because, well, listen to what I'm saying. He worked with Geno when Jerry fell in love with Geno.
Yep.
That's when Jerry fell in love with Geno.
Yep.
Right? He left, went to Tampa Bay to be an offensive coordinator. right? What did Geno do? Regressed.
What did
Right?
Baker do?
Baker stepped up and had the best professional career that he could have, and says, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, he'll return to Tampa Bay depending on who the offensive coordinator is. Now, who did Tampa Bay pick up as offensive coordinator? The former offensive coordinator in with the Rams that helped Jared Goff get to the Super Bowl. After they went to the Super Bowl, that offensive coordinator left the Rams and went back to the University of Kentucky.
Yeah, but those don't count because Sean McVay was calling the plays.
Regardless, when he was there, because he was there for 2 years, the Super Bowl year, and then the following year when they traded for Stafford, but Stafford got hurt and Baker had to come in, and Baker enjoyed that coaching, I guess.
And guess what's going to happen to Baker this year?
He may regress.
He's going to regress.
Well, I'm going to say this: if he stays in not in Carolina, if he stays in Tampa Bay, which is Chris's team, Chris said even the mascot's going to Carolina because half the coaches, offensive coaches, went with old boy to Carolina. No joke. But if he stays in Tampa, he has a system that he's familiar with when he's with the Rams. Right? Now, he might not have Mike Evans, who's reportedly wanting upwards between 25 and 30 million a year at 31. I don't know. But it's a system with Chris Godwin going back to being like the number one receiver and whoever else they get if they can't re-sign Mike Evans. Oh, hashtag pay Mike. But there's a lot of movement and stuff going on right now. And we didn't even get to the Super Bowl. It is believed by several folks that are former coaches that regardless of the outcome, Andy Reid's going to retire. Now, if Andy Reid retires, win or loss, who steps into that position? You can't say Pat Nagy because even though he's there on staff, there's no arrangement like what they did with the Patriots. Gerard Mayo, they had a contract, and they let the NFL know that Bill Belichick said, once I retire, if this is who my successor is, happens to be a black person. I think Mayo is mixed or whatever, but ethnic. Pat Nagy is not ethnic and did not have that type of thing written in his contract. Chris says Bill Belichick to Kansas City. I heard that as well from Charlie Weiss.
No way.
On the radio.
No way.
Bill Belichick is done, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
He ain't coaching anymore, bro. I'm telling you.
I said this 3 weeks ago.
He ain't coaching no more.
3 weeks ago. That I didn't see Bill Belichick going anywhere. And it's I hate to say it, but I've been proven right so far. Because I think his time has passed. I think from what I heard, the average head coach age is 49 and under.
Oh, hell no.
49 and under. Otherwise, other than Andy Reid, the average coach is 49 and under.
They're trending younger.
Yes. So what I'm saying is, I know Mike Tomlin is one of the longest tenured.
He is the longest tenured now.
Okay. So what I'm saying is this. There's only less than a handful of coaches that are over 49. Okay. Most of the coaches that are getting hired are definitely under 49. And that's the way it's going. I saw it weeks ago. Bill Belichick, Mike Vrabel, for whatever reason, I don't know why he's not didn't get the Atlanta job.
I would love for him to be our defensive coordinator. I would love for it.
And Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll is in his 70s. So was Bill Belichick. They can't relate. And I said this, Chris, 3 or 4 weeks ago. They can't relate to the younger players. They can't relate. Now,
I'm not going to say that Pete can't, because Pete seems like he can blend.
They wanted somebody younger, man.
I agree.
Yeah, but all these coaches, they're set in their ways, bro. They're set in their ways, and they don't see it any other way. And like especially with all these college players coming out of college with getting paid in college now. Yeah. There's no way they're gonna be listening like that to these old coaches.
Exactly.
I don't disagree.
I don't see what team would give him a head coaching job, especially after sitting out all this year and then coming back next year. I just don't see it. That guy's like 75 years old.
I'll put it this way: he's not gonna catch Shula's record unless. Hear me out. Arthur Blank is very old. He's older, right? He doesn't want somebody in his age bracket running his organization as a coach. Rich McKay is the the president of the organization and the general manager. I believe that Rich McKay will take over when Arthur Blank steps down, but they interviewed Bill Belichick 3 times or 2 times, and allegedly some of the sticking point was Bill wanted to have some front office or a lot of front office power.
Yeah, I have said that before.
Now, Raheem Morris, he got the job, right? Listen to what I'm saying here. He got the job. But how long is his leash? That's where I'm going with this. Because Morris can relate to the players. He was a former head coach. He coached in Atlanta, but the South is one of the weakest divisions, and this goes back to my boy in Carolina, what he can do for Bryce Young, because he fixed, so to speak, Geno. He fixed, so to speak, Baker. Can he fix Bryce? But does Raheem have the same leeway to fix Desmond Ridder? Or do they get another quarterback?
Or they get another quarterback.
Well, this is what I'm going to tell you. The rumor that just started, I believe, yesterday was Atlanta was going to offer Washington this year's first, next year's first, and this year's second to move up to number 2. So they can pick one of the quarterbacks that they want, especially if Chicago does not get Caleb.
I'm gonna jump in here real quick.
Go ahead.
I gotta say this because I've been dying to say this, and maybe you guys don't realize it, but Atlanta is going to be the next offensive juggernaut.
I believe so. I agree.
Atlanta is going to be the next offensive juggernaut.
I agree.
They're not with those quarterbacks.
They can be.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna try to break this down a little.
Hold on. Desmond Ridder is the only quarterback under contract.
Okay.
Just remember that. He's the only quarterback in Atlanta under contract.
And understand this. They have an offensive coordinator that can get the best out of a quarterback. And
who's the offensive coordinator in Atlanta?
Zach Robinson from the Rams.
Yeah.
Oh, he was just the offensive coordinator last year, right?
He was. Yeah.
The last 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he I wouldn't say he's a quarterback whisperer, but he knows he can coach the quarterback position. Okay. Being the offensive coordinator, that's going to be a more dynamic. You are absolutely right. Mark me, JT goes all in on ATL. That's what I'm trying to.
A year too late because I was on him this year, but
here we go.
I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to stop you, shine. Keep.
You guys got no loyalty to your teams, none whatsoever.
No. I love my team, but I know Atlanta has a lot.
How can you love your team and you're a Bills Mafia member?
Wait a minute, Q.
Calm down.
No, you can't say he's a Bills Mafia because he loves Cleveland. Now he loves Atlanta. I don't know where he's at. I don't
Hold
know
on.
where he's at.
I have loyalty to my team, but that doesn't mean I can't appreciate
I don't
other
know where
teams.
he's at. I have no idea. He's all over the place.
So
least
are
not
you,
on top
Jerry.
teams.
I'm the only one who sticks to my team right here.
No. I stuck to my team. I just appreciate other teams. Jerry is a team jumper at the first sign of peril. But go ahead, JT.
Wait a minute.
Let's let him finish talking. Go ahead, JT.
I'm not in denial. Somebody that I know is in denial, and I'm not naming any names, but somebody I know is in denial. That's all I can tell you.
How am I in denial? I never said Washington was going to do anything yet.
You just jumped on Atlanta, and you just jumped in on. You hadn't been jumped in on Cleveland, but I'm a Washington Commander fan. Okay. Washington.
And you be wearing all these different team jerseys. Oh,
Yeah,
hell no. No.
Let JT finish because he's dragging it out.
He's a Washington Commander fan / Browns fan / Falcons fan. What else? I don't know.
/ Buffalo fan.
Buffalo too. Buffalo fan. So he's got 4 teams. He's got 4 teams.
No, I don't. But go ahead.
Wait a minute. Well, you just said I've been a fan of this team. I'm a fan of this team. I'm a fan of this team.
I'm a football fan. I love my team, but I appreciate and can be a fan of other teams.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have to jump off their bandwagon and every 4 or 5 years like somebody, but I've given you the floor.
Let me put it this way.
I've given you the floor. Go ahead.
But you haven't seen me regress and go back to a team, even though they've shown promise.
Oh, that's
you know
true.
what? You know what? Both of y'all. You know what? Both of y'all need to do. Y'all both need to send me your address so I can email you a Raider fan form. Maybe you guys want to join our team too.
I do like the Raiders. I do.
Oh, here we go.
But they're not one of my
Hey, Jerry, you forgot to mention the Cardinals. You forgot to mention the Cardinals.
And you know what? I forgot to mention Tampa Bay too, because that's two. That's the other one.
Yeah, he like half the league. He's a fan of half the league.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, Zach Robinson is the offensive coordinator and / quarterback whisperer to get the best out of the quarterbacks that he's coaching. So Atlanta, I can almost guarantee you they're going to get another quarterback. And it may not be in the draft. They
need to get Justin Fields.
Wait a minute. It could be what Q just said, Justin Fields. It could be Russell Wilson. It could be.
I heard that.
It could be that they're going to go after one of these quarterbacks that so-called other teams don't want. Yeah. So, hey.
Kirk Cousins. Look.
It could be Kirk Cousins.
Hey,
Absolutely.
I'm glad you said that, JT, because I saw not a photo. I saw a rumor on X that our boy
Devontae.
Well, I didn't hear the one about Devontae, but Russ wants to be a Raider, not just for him, but because of what can happen for Sierra's career in Vegas. Residency.
No.
I mean, that's what I heard.
Well, then you got to pose a question to Q. What do you think, Q, about Russell Wilson coming to the Raiders?
No, I'd rather have Kirk Cousins comes to the Raiders than Russell Wilson.
Reason why?
I don't like his style of game. I really don't like his style. It's not for me. I don't think it would fit in well with Devontae Adams. I just don't. I don't like it. I would rather have Kirk Cousins. I would rather have Justin Fields come to the Raiders before Russell Wilson.
That's interesting, man, because with the right offensive coordinator, because remember,
we don't even have one right now, so we can't even say it.
I think he would have done well under Kingsbury and Eric Bieniemy, honestly, because Russ's best play is when he's not in the pocket, and both offensive coordinators, they like to get rid of the ball, but they also have a lot of off script quarterback play in their system, and Russ is better with that. When he finds the target he loves, he makes him a star. Cortland Sutton, he was sitting there trying to do whatever he could under all these other quarterbacks. But what happened? He became the guy for Russ. And then the Broncos started winning.
Cortland Sutton was already the guy for the Broncos before Russ even got there.
He was, but he was not getting treated with the same type of targets. You see what I'm saying? Like he would get maybe 5 or 6 targets a game under the other quarterbacks because they would spread the ball to the tight end. They spread the ball to Jerry Jeudy, who wasn't doing anything. They get a ball to Tim Patrick. But Russ was like, no, Cortland Sutton's down there somewhere, and I'm going to get him the ball.
Myself, as a Raider fan, that would be my last choice. I don't like Russell Wilson. I don't like his game.
Okay.
What about the other 2 quarterbacks we mentioned, Fields and Cousins?
I said I would rather have both of them. I would rather have. It all depends on who our coordinator is going to be. But I wouldn't mind having Kirk Cousins on our team because he would throw lights out to Devontae and our receiving core, and I would like him on our team. And I think with Justin Fields, if we get a new creator like Eric Bieniemy would come over, then I would see Justin Fields being a good fit for our team. Okay. Russell Wilson, nah, I'm good.
Well, let me pose this. This may be.
He can go to Atlanta.
This may be away from the Raiders, but this may be what you had brought up earlier. Either Kansas City wins the Super Bowl or loses the Super Bowl. Andy Reid retires.
Yep.
Next head coach, Eric Bieniemy.
That's what a lot of people were considering because he's young. He knows Pat. He knows the system. And he'd be a welcome face.
And the players know him.
Yeah.
Yes.
He'd be a welcome face back in the organization. My only concern with that is how would they fix the receiver situation?
Oh, that's in the draft. I mean, you got to be able to draft some capable receivers. In my opinion, you got to draft big receivers that can get move in that with that can adapt to that offensive scheme, be able to run multiple routes because Pat gets to move the ball a lot around.
Okay.
So Travis Kelce ain't getting any younger.
There you go.
Travis Kelce is not getting any younger. If you're not going to have a dynamic tight end that Pat likes to throw to, in which I don't think there's one on the Chiefs right now. You got to make it up.
Rice.
You got to make it up. Other than with Rashid Rice, you got to make it up with better wide receivers, more sure-handed wide receivers. Because right now that wide receiving core, even though they've stepped up in the last few games, is not really that reliable.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
So
I agree 110%.
So you got to look in the draft, and because you got a good defense, and not a really older defense, and you got a good defensive coordinator to run that defense. You need pieces on the offense in the passing game because you have a young running back in Pacheco and a backup in Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but you need receivers because you have I think he's heads above any quarterback that's in the league right now in Pat Mahomes. So Pat's only 27, 28 years old. Come 27. On, man.
Well, with that being said, fellas, I think that would be great for Eric Bieniemy. I think that would make sense. Honestly, Pat Nagy would have to go because that's part of the reason why EB wasn't there this year. Because Nagy came back and he took over that role. But
you guys keep
excellent. Huh?
You guys keep throwing all these names to possibly replace Kansas City if he would retire. Like you guys forget that their defensive coach, he's been there like 5 years.
Spagnola.
Well, and I'll say this. I've said this before.
It's a good point.
Everybody has their max. Everybody has their max position. Okay, just because you are a defensive coordinator and you've been with the organization doesn't necessarily mean you'll be a decent head coach.
Well, I mean, he was a sucky head coach the first time around.
Yeah. So I mean,
right. But I think that's why these last 5-6 years, I think he understands the whole Kansas City system and how everything plays out and works out. And I think he would be a good replacement for Kansas City because I think he would hire like a good offensive minded person. And I think he would run that team good.
He would probably retain Nagy as the offensive coordinator. But you still have to go through the process. But we're going to talk about Kansas City and Super Bowl when we come back from this brief break. Just know that there's a lot of changes going on. But right now, this show's been brought to you by
624coffeecompany.com. For more info, visit 624coffeecompany.com. Visit the website, verify status, stop drinking dirty water. You deserve great coffee. Hey, hero, don't be a zero. 15% off military discount. Great coffee for great people. That's 624coffeecompany.com.
All right. That was a little dirty.
Yeah, it was. It was.
That was dirty.
Yeah, that was dirty.
You need to start drinking that dirty water and start drinking some of that hero coffee.
That's 624. All right. We're talking about the Super Bowl. It's next week. I'm gonna put it this way, and we're not saying too long on it. I think a lot of pressure is on Kyle Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers, not the Kansas City Chiefs. Though I did not want the Chiefs to be here, they are here. Though San Francisco probably played some of the worst football all year during the playoffs, they're here. But that's why I think the pressure is on Shanahan and Wilkes. Okay? They were outplayed by Green Bay and outplayed by Detroit. Green Bay had a few interceptions to end that game. Detroit had bad drops. I didn't say play calls or the coach's decisions. I said drops because Josh Reynolds dropped 2 fourth down passes that should have given the Lions first downs and possibly winning that game. San Francisco does not look like the juggernaut they were all year. And you can't say it's, one game. It's 2 consecutive games. Andy Reid, and as you said, Q Spagnola, they've been doing this for a while. The defense of Kansas City is a little nicked up. They lost their defensive tackle to a torn bicep or something like that. So he's out. That means the rest of the team has to step up. Snead is supposedly the best cornerback in football right now. He's going to run up against Debo. McDuffie's pretty good. He's going to have to deal with Ayuk. Gay is out. Doesn't look like he's going to make the Super Bowl, but that means somebody has to cover Kittle. Is the safety going to cover Kittle? Big mistake. Is what's the number 32? Nick
Bolton.
Nick Bolton. Is he going to cover Kittle? Then you take him out of the run game. But then you got old boy that came to Kansas City from the Chargers, the linebacker. Tillery, I believe his name was. I can't remember his last name, but he's a beast. But if he covers Kittle, who's going to cover CMC? So here's my thing, fellas. Though San Francisco on paper is stacked offensively and defensively, I don't think Wilkes has a good enough game plan for the first half to stop Pat. He's a good second half adjuster. I don't think Kyle Shanahan, that is going to call a superb first half like he did the last time they played. Last time they played, he called a great first half. But in the fourth quarter, they let a 10-point lead slip away and lost the Super Bowl. One player, the starting safety for the Kansas City Chiefs, was the starting safety for the San Francisco 49ers the last time they played in the Super Bowl. Ward. Not Reed, Ward. Will that make a difference? I don't know, but this is a dangerous game, the Super Bowl for San Francisco, who on paper should dominate. I'm up in the air about it. Talk to me, JT, then Q.
I'm trying to look up the record, but I know it's it leans toward Andy Reid on the win-loss record that Kyle Shanahan has against Andy Reid. I do know that with a 2-week bye, Andy Reid has one of the best, if not the best, win-loss record. That I do know. So that I do know. I don't know the exact record, but Andy Reid has a very dominant record when he has 2 weeks to prepare for a team. And Kyle Shanahan, on the other hand, does not have a good record against the Andy Reid coach team. You may say they have better weapons on San Francisco, but Andy Reid knows how to get the best out of what the talent that he has. And quite naturally, once you have Pat Mahomes, I've always said, you go into a game, whether it's a championship game or a playoff game, and your quarterback is the best quarterback, that you have a better chance of winning that game. And Pat Mahomes, in my opinion, is light years above any of these quarterbacks that have played in the playoffs. It's light years, not even close. And I have to go with what I been going with ever since these playoffs started. I go with the guy that's been there, not somebody who's trying to get there.
Okay. Q.
Man, this game, for some reason to me, it like everything doesn't add up because Kansas City should not be there.
Mm-hmm.
Period. With that offense, there's no way that they should be there, right? But San Francisco shouldn't be there neither, because they got overplayed in both games. And they had so many things go their way in the second half of both games that it's ridiculous, right? But when I break it down, I try to see who the 10 best players are in the game, right? And to me, the 10 best players in the game, I think San Francisco has more of them than Kansas City, right? But at the end of the day, it's hard for me to go against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, and especially coming off a bye. And I think that Super Bowl thing is real for Kyle Shanahan. I think he's going to find some way to choke it out at the end. Like right now, I'm undecided right now as of this point who's going to win the game. But like as of right now, my favorite bet that I like is Kansas City for the first half. I think they're going to win that first half.
Oh, yeah.
And then after that, I'm not sure yet. I'll know by the end of next week. But
well, we got a lot of time to see the injuries, to see, who's going to be doing what. So I agree with you on that, Q. Also agree with you, JT. except I'm not going to pick a team. I'm not saying I'm going to go with Andy Reid and Mahomes because of records. I'll say this. This should be an interesting Super Bowl. This should be a very explosive Super Bowl, so to speak, in my opinion. I think they'll have runs in spurts, whereas it's going to be like, okay, well, you know what? They score, we score. They stopped us, we stopped them. I think it's going to be a lot of matching. You're just here for the snacks. Okay. But next week, we're going to have to pick. I don't know who's going to pick what. I know where I'm leaning, and I know what I want, but I got to see some more data. In order to make that pick. But with that being said, gentlemen, thank you for the time. Thank you for the analysis and stuff. We're going to transition to Q's teasers. You have one ready for us, Q?
I got nothing. There's only one game.
Okay. All right. Well, I thought he was going to talk about basketball or something. Well, let me go.
I'm playing a little something on basketball, but I like to give it out because I don't even know who likes basketball. But if you want a pretty good game today, the Lakers Knicks game should go over today.
Okay. All right. With that being said, JT.
Yes, sir.
The Reese's Senior Bowl.
Okay.
It's well, before we do that, Chris has a question. Hey, does Brock get a new contract if he wins or loses? Yeah. Brock gets a new contract, dude. Brock is their quarterback. Anytime York, the owner or CEO of the 49ers, shares a story in public about with the media how Kyle Shanahan came to him when Brock was a rookie and said, at some point, Brock Purdy's going to start some games for us as a rookie. Now, remember, they already had Jimmy G. They just drafted Trey Lance. In the same draft, they got Brock Purdy.
No,
Brock is getting.
I thought Trey Lance was there before Brock Purdy. I could have sworn that.
I thought
he was there a year before it.
I thought because he was Mr. Irrelevant at the end of that draft.
No,
I thought he was Mr. Irrelevant at the end of that
Trey Lance
draft.
was there because he got hurt and Brock Purdy was drafted the next year.
Okay.
Trey Lance got hurt the year they drafted Brock Purdy, but Trey Lance had been there already.
Yes.
Well, the point of it is, anytime you see that guy, or not you see that guy, but the head coach goes to the CEO owner and says, this guy is going to start for us at some point. And you've already got Jimmy G and Trey Lance on the team.
Well, Jimmy G was on his way out. Everybody knew that.
I got it. But the fact that he was outperforming both of them in practice.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I think you're putting too much stock into it. The only reason he told them that is because he knows that all 49er quarterbacks get hurt. So at some point he was going to start.
You're just a 49er hater, man.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
But it's true, bro. Name a 49er quarterback who has played the whole year.
Joe Montana.
You're right about that.
Well, yeah, back like 30 years ago.
Yeah, that's like 40 years ago, man.
Come on, bro.
Okay, Boris Gerbach.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the point is, Steve Young got injured a few times, Chris. But he played a whole season or two, but he was susceptible to concussions.
Yeah, but that was like back in the 90s, bro.
I got it. Look, okay, don't jump on me.
The last 5 years, every year a 49er quarterback goes down.
You brought it up.
That's true. Well, JT has no choice but to root for the 49ers because his wife will beat him up. She's a 49er fan in the house.
Let me put it this way. last week when we saw the games played, we knew who was going to be in the Super Bowl. I told my wife, you know that you may not win the Super Bowl. I said that to her. She agreed with me. She, yeah, I know. Because she watched both games.
Mhm.
He watched both games and see that Mahomes magic. I'm telling you, you may be up in the air, but in order to beat the king, in order to beat the king, you got to beat the king.
I just got some word. I just got some words of advice for Vic.
What?
You know what happened last year when you bet against Mahomes
Yep. I tried to tell
in the Super Bowl.
I tried to tell him this year, but he wouldn't listen.
Well, you didn't. You didn't want to
I'm
take.
here to save you, bro. I'm here to save you.
Thank you, Q. But I haven't made my decision up. But Jerry talking about you turn. Well, when I had an offer on the table,
look, I
for
told
Baltimore and Kansas City,
I told you I'm not a
somebody
gambling
got
person.
scared.
I told you I'm not a gambling person.
Dude, you be okay. All right.
I'm
We
not
have a bet every year, Jerry.
Look,
We have a bet every year.
wait a
So
minute, because I have a good feeling about it, and most of the time I win them, so I'm not worried about it. You know, every now
you have not been that successful against me, but go ahead.
excuse me.
You have not been that successful against me.
Okay, you don't think so, huh?
No.
Okay,
You put more money in my account than I put in your account.
Okay, Trevor, no problem.
Trevor.
Hey, Trevor. Okay, no problem.
Trevor? Who's Trevor?
Trevor Lawrence. You put your faith in Trevor Lawrence, and what did he get you? What did he get you? Thank you, Victor, for the Zelly that you sent me. I appreciate it.
Break out the receipts, Jerry. Break out the receipts.
You sent me a lot more this year than I sent you.
I'm sorry, brother. No. Don't believe
Break out the receipts, Jerry. Break out the receipts.
Let's move off of this.
He wants to move.
Exactly. Every time he wrong.
No, I'm just saying. Put some money.
I wasn't gonna bring it up, and I was just gonna let you slide it. But now I ain't even gonna let you slide.
You know what?
And you got to go back to one of your shows. We had a bet that I told you Kansas City would finish top 5 in defense, and you said there is no way in hell.
Yep.
Look it up.
Yep.
Look it up.
You don't remember.
You were right. I was wrong.
Hey, let me ask
I don't recall it.
Since we on,
I know, but
since we on here for betting,
Oh my gosh.
I don't want to do it on the chat, but since we're here live, the Dave that's running that Super Bowl,
Yeah.
is that the same Dave that stiff Q?
No, the dude didn't stiff Q. Dude sent Q the money.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't Dave.
it was a different dude.
Yeah, it was a different dude.
Big had got it wrong.
Dave is from TSA.
Oh, you don't have to say anything more.
Well, no, you know what? He filled all 100 squares in less than 24 hours, though.
Okay.
I already got my numbers.
What's that mean? What's that mean?
That means he knows a lot of people that trust him.
Okay.
But anyway, let's move on.
Okay. I just had to ask that.
I know you did. But here's the thing I want to ask you, JT.
What's that?
You watch no college football, but you know these college running backs. The Reese's Senior Bowl.
I do my research.
I know.
I haven't done my research yet. So go ahead.
Well, the Reese's Senior Bowl is happening right now.
Right.
Surprised you're not watching it.
I can't watch it and be on the show at the same time.
Well, you normally have it on. Yeah, you can, and you do. You be watching horses and all that other stuff during the show.
Hey, look, this. I have to focus because you have a tendency to put little stuff in there, and I want to make sure I hear everything that you say.
Okay, all right.
Q's shaking his head. He knows I'm right.
I don't know.
You're right, Jerry. You are 100% correct.
No, he's not. Yeah. But I might slip something in here now and then. But anyway, what is the outlook, in your opinion, from college? What's coming out?
Okay,
not the names we know, but what running back or what player do you think is going to be a big difference maker come the football season?
Let me put it this way. and I can't name them all because I have looked at a few of them. I feel that there's going to be in these positions, there's going to be quality running backs and wide receivers and offensive linemen in this draft. I think that's going to be the.
Look at him. He trying to turn TV on now. Look at him.
I got it on. I just turned it on. In fact, I turned it off because I had trouble with the volume, so I just turned it off. Anyway, I like the running backs. There's going to be some good quality running backs in there. Quite naturally, nowadays, if you have a decent running back, not a Bijan or a Saquon type running back that's coming out of college, but these running backs, like I've talked about before on my show, For No Reason, Fantasy Football, and also on your show, I like a triple threat running back that can catch the ball out of the backfield, that can run the football, and that can also block. And these running backs, most of these running backs coming out of college, the good running backs can do that. There'll be what most people say dual threat. I talk them triple threat, but dual threat running backs because of the offense they run in college. Mainly the passing offense, and these guys can catch or train to catch the football. Now, not all of them are like that, but there's a lot of good running backs coming out of this draft that will be a good for teams that need running backs and cheap because most running backs, I don't think there's a first round running back in this draft. So we're getting second, third, and on running backs, second round, third round, and on, which are going to be cheaper backs for most of these teams. So you got to watch.
Sorry.
Huh?
My bulldog. That is my bulldog.
Yeah.
That dude, listen, man.
I'm trying to talk over snoring so you don't hear.
I know, look, man, I'm sorry. This dude, he's like narcoleptic, bro. He will just start snoring loudly and out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I apologize.
It's a bulldog, so you know you're going to get a big, loud snore out of him. Anyway, it's a bulldog. Anyway, so I'm looking at wide receivers and running backs coming out of college because of these offenses these college teams are running nowadays. And the offensive linemen. I think this is supposedly a strong offensive lineman draft along with wide receivers and running backs. And believe it or not, and I can't remember his name, but he mentioned it last year, tight ends. There's going to be some quality tight ends coming out here also.
Brock Bowers.
Thank you. I can't think of all these guys. Yeah, that's one of them. Yes, Brock Bowers. So there's going to be some quality tight ends also.
Okay.
So this is going to be, I think this is a trend that's going to be each year, that there's going to be quality skill position players that are going to benefit these teams, and out with the old and in with the new. So you get older running backs that are 29, 28, or 30 years old that are going to be pushed out, and these young 22, 23, maybe 24-year-olds will be pushed in. Running back.
Well, we'll see.
I think myself personally, I think that from now on, the next couple of years, you're probably going to have only like one running back drafted in the first round, and it's going to be mostly wide receivers and tight ends.
Yep.
And tackles.
Yeah.
In the first round.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that being said, what are you going to talk about tomorrow, JT? Are you going to have a show
tomorrow? I'm going to be talking tomorrow about. I'm going to go more in depth about the coaching changes, and besides the head coach, I'm going to be talking about what we know are going to be the offensive coordinators for these teams that have new head coaches, and what I see as the offense that pertains to fantasy.
Okay, that's a good topic. It is the first Sunday of the month, so I guess week 2 will be your draft.
And
you're supposed to be doing first, second, and third, or first and second round this time.
You know what? Q.
Yes, sir.
I listen to everything he has to say, so I know on our show that what's going to happen is going to happen. Next,
dude, why are you being difficult?
I said this 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Maybe no longer than that. The first Sunday of January. That's when I said it. I said each corresponding month was going to be added on the mock draft in fantasy.
Yes.
So the way you said it was all convoluted. You couldn't understand.
How's it convoluted? I asked, when are you doing?
You shouldn't have.
Pretty much.
You know why, Jerry? Because Vic treats us like peasants, and he doesn't listen to us.
Yep. Everything. Hey.
He think he in the military right now.
The only voice that counts is the person over there. The only voice that counts. That's the mindset. Okay, that's the mindset. The only voice that counts, and the only voice that he listens to is his own. Well, he don't listen to anybody else.
I do. It's just I do.
Yeah. You listen to him. He's fumbling with his words because he can't bring himself to say it.
You're fumbling.
Yeah, he know it's true.
No, I listen to some people sometimes, but yes, I do believe I'm right a lot of the time. But with that being said, this show has been brought to you by, let's see if this happens,
624coffeecompany.com. For more info, go to that website, 624coffeecompany.com. Visit the website, verify status, stop drinking dirty water. You deserve great coffee. Hey, hero, don't be a zero. 15% off military discount. Great coffee for great people. That's 624coffeecompany.com.
Okay, yeah, it took him a while to get that last part out, but I appreciate you. One last comment, and I'm going to hurt you, Chris, because I say organization very well. I say it very well. But it's okay. It's okay. 624 needs. Hey, look, I got the graphic from somebody else, but I'll take it. With that being said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. We'll be back here next Saturday to talk about the Super Bowl. That's what's going to happen. Super Bowl time. End of the playoffs and the football season as we get ready for the draft, the combine, everything else. For us, I'm going to start talking about college basketball, professional basketball, and baseball's coming. So we're going to start talking about that as well. We'll still talk about football as news comes about, but the focus of the show is probably going to shift from football, not probably, but the focus of the show will shift from football mostly to other sports. That's just the way it is. We got another comment here. Chris says 49ers by 6. He's making a prediction already.
That's why you don't listen to Chris, because he can't even spell 49ers right.
Oh.
I think he did that on purpose. 49ers. 49ers.
Yeah. It's a play on words. It's a play on words. But with that being the case, again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Hey, again, I appreciate those over on X that are subscribing to the channel or to the cast, as well as those on YouTube that are starting to pick us up there. Greatly appreciate it. We'll be on Twitch again. If we ever become professional, really, I'll go back to LinkedIn. So I make sure nobody's dropping no curse words or having some issues.
We should be able to curse. It's a free speech.
Thank you, Vic Q. Damn right it is.
Okay, all right. We're going to stop right there. With that being the case, thank you all. We will see you next week. We out.
Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Get ready to rumble!
You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
Remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Oh!
Jerry's gonna get him.
Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about